welcome to the show today. I'm your host, Tamara Henry, and we are in, it's the only way out. And when I'm talking about in, I'm talking about this kind of in. Here on this show, we combine spirituality with entertainment, and we delve into the hearts and minds of spiritual and conscious leaders. And today we have writer, actor, producer Jsu Garcia on the show. Jsu, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to have you here today.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, well, the first time I met you was at the premiere of one of your movies, which is based on this book, Spiritual Warrior.
Yes.
And
John Rogers, Spiritual Warrior.
John Roger. This is his book, and so how did it turn into a movie?
Well, I've studied and been with John Roger for over 20 years, and the Spiritual Warrior book is like a inspirational book. It's self-help and everything, and I've taken trips to the Middle East with John Roger along with 165 other people. For 12 years he did this in the 80s throughout the 90s, and it ended in 95, and of course war broke out and all that. But these spiritual pilgrimages to the Middle East really affected me, going through Egypt, going down the Nile, up the Nile, going through Sinai, Mount Sinai, and then entering the Promised Land. It was to me, very powerful, historical, and not religious, but very like, wow, everyone else did this, I'm doing it. And then between me and John Roger, we got together and we sat down and we said, you know, Mel Gibson came out with the Passion, and it grossed tons of gazillions of dollars. And the Passion, you know, whether you agree or disagree, and I very much love Jesus, so I don't have a problem. I just don't want to see him get beat for 2 hours.
Right, yeah.
So I looked at what he was doing, and I realized, and I worked with him on We Were Soldiers, and I realized what he was doing was he was breaking something. He was doing something. Right. And he was doing his own money, putting his own money in, he was taking chances, and who cares, I want to do it. Right. And then that inspired me, and I said, you know what? And I had made a bunch of pilots and TVs and movies, and I put some money together with my friends, and we said, let's make this movie, let's take a chance. And I know the Middle East very well, and before things got heavier than they are now, you know, we climbed the pyramids, did locations. Yeah,
and later in our show, if you hang on with us, we're going to show some beautiful clips of the beautiful footage. But first, before we do that, I just want to say, I just want to list a couple things. When you said Mel Gibson here, you were Captain Nadal in the film We Were Soldiers. And then in another film, you were Roman in Collateral Damage.
Right.
And you were
Arnold
also
Schwarzenegger, the governor.
All right. And you were also Pablo Obregon in Traffic.
Right.
And so you've been in a lot of, you know, great movies. And also, you were also in Andy Garcia's The Lost City, which I had the pleasure of watching just a few weeks ago, and saw you there again. I'm seeing you everywhere.
I know, you're everywhere.
Yeah.
I like the way you work. It's really good.
Well, I like the way
you're persistent.
Oh, really?
Because you know, seeing you at that screening, then I said, okay, let's do it, because I had been busy. And, but yeah, Andy Garcia has been great. I did a role called the Che Guevara, and it's a successful movie. It's going to open the Dominican Republic Film Festival. So, you know.
That movie was so romantic and so moving, and it was just, and then the history, you know, I just really felt taken back to that time and place, and then to see you there. And one of the things I like about you the most is you have such a wide range of characters that you can play and different looks that you have. You know, I've seen you look so many different ways.
Yeah, no, yeah. Now I was just telling your boyfriend that I gained 60 pounds for a role, which I'm coming down off. And then along came Polly. I was like thin. I was almost anorexic. Yeah. So I want to be able to, you know, before I get too old, to be able to do anything.
And we always look our best in Hollywood when we're anorexic for some reason. So let's take a look at that clip because everyone knows you from that Along Came Polly. So let's take a look at that clip right now.
All right. Hey, Ruby Tuesday. ¿Cómo estás?
Yeah, doing all right. You know what? Actually, me no estás too good, Javier. I want you to stay away from Polly, all right? Find yourself another dance partner.
Why?
Why? Because she and I are a couple, all right? Yeah, we're dating. And I'm not gonna let some big shot salsa king sweep in with your mambo moves and your Eric Estrada look and come in and try to take her away, because I've had that happen before and it's not gonna happen again.
Ruben, I'm gay.
Hey, I don't care what?
I'm homosexual. My boyfriend Hector, he plays the keyboards in the house band.
Oh. Hey, you think maybe you could give me some salsa lessons?
Okay, we could get up and dance here if we didn't have our mics on and have
I
to
know.
stay in place. But
I love that movie.
yeah, it was really, yeah, it's on DVD right now, right?
Yeah, I'm making it. I love dancing, and my first impressionable movie was Saturday Night Fever. I watched it when it first came out like 100 times, and it really feels good for me inside when I dance in movies. And I've danced in that movie and the last movie I did and some other movies, and I realized I want to do movies where I can dance and sing. It really does something to me. It was.
Now, you talk about your first impressionable movie. Did you always know? I mean, it seems like you're living your calling. This is where you shine the most. And so, was it easy for you to find your passion and your calling?
When I was younger, yeah, I was really. Maybe you remind me of me, but I was very like broke into things. I snuck into studios. You can't do it now. You get arrested. But you know, I insisted. I would walk up to movie stars and talk. And how do you do this? I still do that. And I would hide in theaters and watch movies, triple features for $1 when I was young. So is it my calling? You know, I've been lucky and fortunate. I've done over 30 films. So I would say that it's there already. It's not a calling. I'm just doing it.
Right.
And then I try to, now that I like the spiritual path, and I like to do dark movies. I mean, Silva was talking about how he does Jeepers Creepers and then he's doing Peaceful Warrior. And I thought, no, you know, that's what he's putting his light and his energy in those kinds of movies, and who else would be better to do those kinds of movies than someone that is kind of a positive person.
Right.
You don't want to go too dark and you don't want to be dark and do dark movies. You want to be kind of balanced to do all kinds of movies. So
and that's really interesting that you're talking about that, because the book Spiritual Warrior, I love this book. It really talks about our dark side and how most people try to get rid of it. You know, they try to cut it off from themselves, but really that you have to embrace your dark side and bring it into the inner dance to create wholeness, right?
Correct.
So how?
I mean, I always, I mean, this is an analogy, but I always remember that Yoda lived in a dark place,
right,
where there was evil, in a cave.
Yeah.
But he was still Yoda, you know. That's kind of a stupid analogy.
You can draw that dark energy in, and you know, let it be the fuel for your creativity to shine your light. Actually,
you don't have to participate in it.
Yeah.
You just know it and embrace it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you become whole. Yeah. Yeah, I really like the book. It talks about, you know, creativity and truth, and you know, not being a victim anymore. You know,
that's what I love about the book. It's like it just says, you know, get off yourself, and then the petty tyrants. There's great chapters in like the control.
Right.
What's the biggest? What's your
the biggest addiction?
Addiction is
control. Everything. Yeah.
And the other one is your petty tyrant. Who's your petty tyrant in your life?
Right. Especially here in LA, in this business, you got a lot of petty tyrants, right?
Yeah, and then what's the other one? Which is it's like.
Is it projection?
Weakness.
We talked a lot about projection.
Weakness. You're something weakness. Which is you throw every time someone throws a tantrum.
Yeah.
You know, and then you collapse. Ooh, they're getting upset.
Yeah.
That's their way of controlling. That's their way of maneuvering life. You know, when they throw this out of control thing, and everyone else backs off.
Yeah.